So now we'll revise the chapter 3rd, that is primes and the theory of the congruence. So before that, we'll revise the last chapter, that is the GCD and GCD of the two numbers when they are the relative prime of that. Okay, so this is what A divide B plus C. A divide B plus C. You know that if A divide B, A divide C, this implies A divide B plus C. Okay, if A divide B, A divide C, then A divide B plus C. But the converse is not true. That means what? A divide B plus C does not imply that your A divide B or A divide C. We cannot say anything about it. But if A divide B, A divide C, then A divide B plus C. This is hold. If this is hold, then that is hold. Okay. But if A divide B plus C, that does not imply that your A divide B or A divide C. Okay. Now, if sum of the squares of the two odd, this is very important. Two odd integers. So odd means what? It is of the form twice n plus 1. Okay. Is the perfect, it is cannot be the perfect square. So perfect square means what? This 4 is the perfect square because it is the square of some number. Okay. 9 is the perfect square. 25 is the perfect square. Okay. 36 is the perfect square. So that means it is not a perfect square. That means the sum of the squares of two odd integers cannot be a perfect square. So cannot be 4, cannot be 9, cannot be 25, cannot be 36 and so on. Okay. So one thing is also what? If x and y are odd. Okay. So now sum of two odd number is even now. Sum of two odd number is even, note that. And square of the odd number is odd now. Product of two odd number is odd. Okay. But the sum of two odd number is odd also. Okay. For any integer a plus 2, a plus at least one of them is divisible by 3. That means either a is divisible by 3 or a plus 2 is divisible by 3 or a plus 4 is divisible. One of them is divisible by 3. Not all are divisible by 3, but one of them is this. Okay. For any integer a, this is not done. This is for any integer a, GCD of a plus 2 is either 1 or 2. This is very important. GCD of a plus 2 is either 1 or 2. For any integer a, this is what? 5a plus 2, 7a plus 3. So they are the relatively prime. That means 5a plus 2 and 7a plus 3 are the relatively prime. Okay. Where we want to say revise this primes and the theory of congruence. Before that, we will discuss this. Okay. So if k is not equal to 0, then GCD of k and kb is same as the k times the GCD of ab. This is also very important. GCD of k, kb is same as k times the GCD of ab. So if a and b are relatively prime, that means what? That GCD is 1. Okay. And c divides a. So c divides a or c divides b. Okay. So if c divides b is there, then GCD of AC is 1 then. Okay. If c divides a, then GCD of BC is 1. Okay. Note that here. So at least c divides at least one of them. Okay. And GCD with the other one will be the is a relatively prime. That will be relative. So c divides a. So if c divides a, then GCD with b is 1 now. Okay. If c divides b, then GCD with a is 1. GCD of c with 1. That means this is a is a multiple of c. A is a multiple of c. That means c times something. Whatever this may be, but that is what GCD will be the 1 now. Again, a and b are relatively prime. Then GCD of ACB product. And if you remove this a, okay, if you remove this a, doesn't matter, then GCD will be the same. Okay, so they may or may not be the relatively prime then. The GCD of ACB is same as the GCD of CB. So if a and b are relatively prime, you can remove a then. So if GCD of AB is equal to 1, then a square b, ab square, a square b square, all are the relatively prime. No problem for here. You can multiply a here, you can multiply b here. Okay, you can take the square of this one. Okay, you can take the cube of, you can take the n power also. That will be also 1. Okay, so if GCD of AB is equal to 1, then GCD of the sum and product is also 1. That means what? If a and b are relatively prime, then the sum and product is also relatively prime. So a plus b, AB is a relatively prime. So there are infinitely many integers there are infinitely many integers such that their GCD is 5 and sum is 100. So if you want to find a number such way that AB is equal to GCD of AB is equal to 5 and A plus B is 100. So how many numbers are there? How many integers satisfy this A plus B is equal to integration of GCD of AB is 5 and the sum is 100. So there are infinitely many integers are available such that their GCD is 5 and sum is 100. Infinitely many integers. Okay. Now what is that? 6n square plus 6n is always divisible by 6 and 12. 6 and 12 for all n belongs to n. For all n is divisible by always divisible by means integral multiple of integral multiple of 6 and 12. Okay, so this you should remember this also. Okay, so just we are revising this. One thing is also that what say 8, this implies that A divides B. So this is also hold. So if GCD of AB is 1, then GCD of A raised to n, B raised to n is also 1. So that means if A and B are relative line, then nth power are also relative. So whatever this, you can take any power. This A raised to n, B raised to m also allowed here. So that is also GCD will be the 1 then. Okay. Then if GCD of AB is same as LCM of AB, GCD and LCM are the same. If GCD and LCM are the same, this implies that A is equal to plus or minus B. They are equal or opposite. That means what? GCD of 5 and minus 5. See here, and this is same as 5 and minus 5. Yes, they are equal but opposite. What is the GCD of this one? Oh, one thing is that what? GCD of 5 and minus 5. Okay, GCD of 5 and minus 5 is 5. Is 5. We have to take the positive. Okay, so GCD of 0 and 5 is 5. So GCD is non-zero. So you have to take this as 5. Note that. So GCD of minus 5 is 5. Whatever the number may be, you can take here minus 10. GCD will be the 10. Positive you have to take. Okay. So note that this. So you should remember this. GCD of 5 and minus 5 is 5. So you can take here 7 also. 7 minus 7 or 10 minus 10. Okay. So GCD of minus 11 or maybe this may be what? Minus 12. So that will be the 12. GCD is always positive. Okay. So if GCD and LCM are the same, then the numbers are equal and opposite. Okay. So here also the same thing here. If your K is positive, then LCM of KA KB is same as K times AB. This is also hold for GCD. This is LCM. This is the notation of the LCM. This is also hold here. Okay. So if GCD of XY can be X, can be Y, can be X minus Y, but cannot be X plus Y. So X plus Y is greater than GCD cannot be greater than X, cannot be greater than Y. Note that GCD cannot be greater than X, cannot greater than Y. That means what? Suppose D is a GCD, then D is always less than X, less than or equal to Y. D is always less than or equal to Y. D is always less than or equal to X. D is always less than or equal to Y. So that means what? So this may happen that X, Y, X minus Y. This may happen that. Okay. So but this cannot be, because X plus Y will be the greater than X and greater than Y then. Okay. So it cannot be X plus Y. Now what do I mean by prime number? Prime number. Prime number. So prime number means what? So it has no common factor. So it has only the improper divisors. Okay. So P belongs to Z. So it should be what? It should be greater than 1. Okay. P is greater than 1. So P is greater than 1. So that means it is a positive. It is not equal to 1 also. Right? Each prime is called prime if it has only plus or minus 1 divisors. That means what? A number is prime if it has only the improper divisors, no proper divisors. That is what? That is P has no proper divisor. Has no proper divisor. Okay. So this is the definition of so P divides Q. Okay, P and Q are prime. P divides Q where P and Q are prime. Where P and Q prime. This implies that P is equal to Q because they are positive. So P must be equal to Q. Okay, so P is prime, Q is prime. Okay, so prime means they don't have the common factor. Actually, they are the relatively prime. They are the relatively prime. So that means then GCD is 1. Okay, so that means what? P divides, but you have the P divides Q. That means what? They should be the equal. Okay, they should be the equal. So this is very important here. So one thing is that GCD of AP is equal to P. GCD of AP is equal to P implies that P divides A. Implies that P divides A. So if GCD of AP is equal to 1, this implies that P does not divide A. P is a prime. Okay, where P is prime. P is prime. So if P is prime and GCD of AP is P, then P divides A. A and P are relative prime. That means P does not divide because P prime. So it has no common factor. So that means then GCD is 1 now here. Okay. So because P does not divide A now, that means A is not multiple of P. A is not a multiple of P. Here what? P divide. Here what? GCD is P. That means what here? A is a multiple of P. A is a multiple of P. That means P divides A. So that this is what? P here. Okay. Now Euclid's lemma is also there. Euclid's lemma for the prime number. Euclid's lemma for the prime number. If P is prime, if P is a prime and P divides AB, then P divides A or P divides B. This is very important. So even though P divides the product, P divides A1, A2, A3, AN dot dot, this implies that P divides A1 or P divides A2 or P divides like this. Okay. So that is the so we are revising. That means what here? Just we are discussing the points only. We are not solving the details problem. Okay. Just we are revising the points. Okay. So if P is prime, such that P divides A, P divides A square plus B square. P divides A square plus B square. Then P divides B also. Okay. So P is the prime such that it divides A. It divides the sum of the squares. Then P divides B. Okay. So you should remember this one. Okay. So this is the important point. Okay. So now second, root 2, root 3, root 5, root 7 are irrational number. Irrational numbers. Okay. Even though 2 root 2, it is also irrational number. Okay. If root 2 is there, multiply this. Even though this is what 3 plus root 2, this is also irrational number. Okay. 3 minus root 2 or this is also irrational number. Okay. So any number involving this will be the irrational number. Okay. So that means what? This is not a rational number. Okay, so that also you should know. So this is what the next one. So suppose n is greater than 1 is the positive integer. Okay, it can be expressed. It can be expressed as product of finite number of primes. Finite number of primes. That means what? Suppose we have given the 12. So we can write finite number the product. This is what? Then 2 into 2 into 3, right? So this is finite number of the product of the primes. 2 is prime. So no matter what, they may be this may be distinct primes, or we can write also like this into 3. Product of the powers of the primes. Product of the powers of the primes. This is also hold here. That is called a fundamental theorem of arithmetic. This is called fundamental theorem of the arithmetic. Okay. So this n is also, you can express this word p1 alpha 1, p2 alpha 2, dot dot dot, pn alpha n, something like this, right? Powers of the prime. Okay, powers of the prime. So any number which can be expressed as the product of the every number, not any number, every number is expressed as the product of the power of the product of the primes. Okay, so it is called canonical form. It is called canonical. So here what order of p1, p2, pn is not important here. So suppose the primes, will write the first some primes, that is 2, 3, 5, 7. Next prime is 11. Okay, so then this is 13, 17, 19. Okay, 19. Then what? 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 31, and so on. So on. Okay. So one thing is important, that so these are first how many prime? 1, 2. So primes less than 30, less than not 30. Okay. So these are the first dot dot dot. These are the first. How many primes are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, something like this. Okay. So these are the first primes. So here any prime. So okay, so this is what? The fourth one. This is 50. Any prime of the form 3n plus 1 is also of the form 6n plus 1. That means any prime of the form 3n plus 1 is also of the form multiple of 6 plus 1. Multiple of 6 plus 1. Okay. Now, so number of primes that divide suppose 30 factorial. The number of primes that divide 30. So the primes which divide 30 factorial, you want to find the prime numbers which divide this. So what are these? How many primes are less than 30? So these are the numbers less than 30. These are the numbers. How many primes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what number of primes? So there are 10 primes which divide 30 factorial. Number of prime that divide 30 is what? 10. If you want the prime numbers, so these are the prime numbers less than 30. All prime numbers less than 30 are divided by 30 factorial. So if there is 20 factorial, how many primes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 primes that divide the 20 factorial. 15 factorial, the number of primes which divide 15 factorial. So how many number of primes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 primes are there that divide the 15 factorial. So if you want 50 factorial, so just go on this adding. This is what 37. So 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Okay, 37 is the prime. Okay, next is what 39, 40, 41 is the prime. Okay, 42, 43 is the prime. Okay, 45, 40, 47 is the prime. Okay, so last 47 is the prime. So that means what we have to go up to the first find a 50 factorial. So how many? Just count that number up to the 50, up to 50. Just write all the primes less than 50. Okay. Now if P is the prime, P is prime such that P divide A square plus B square, P divide B square plus C square. This implies that P divide A square minus C square. P divide A square minus C square. Okay, so there are this is first, second, there are infinitely many primes of the type 4n minus 1. So how many primes are of the form 4n? That means it is multiple of 4 minus 1. How many such primes are there? Infinitely many primes are there. So they are of the form 4n. That means multiple of 4 and then minus 1 is there. Okay, it is less by minus 1. Okay, so if P and Q are prime, P does not divide Q. This implies that GCD of PQ is 1. P does not divide Q, then obviously this is what, because P and Q are prime, obviously this is what, the P and Q are prime, that means they don't have the common factor, and this P does not divide Q is there, so obviously the GCD of PQ is 1. So this is naturally happen by the definition of this. Okay. Now this is very important thing is what? Congruence. Modulo n. Congruence modulo n. Okay, so just we will define this. Let n be a fixed positive integer. The integer a and b, the integers a and b are said to be congruent modulo n if n divide a minus b. So a and b are said to be congruent modulo n if n divide a minus b. We will write this as a is congruent to b modulo n. Okay, a is congruent. So a is congruent to b modulo n means what? N divide a minus b. Means what? A minus b is equal to n times k. Is implied that a n times a. Okay, so we'll see some example. Okay, so before that, what? X is even. That means what? X is a multiple of 2. Then x is congruent to 0 modulo 2. Okay, so x is odd. Then x is congruent to 1 modulo 2. So now we'll see some example. Whether this is whole, 19 is congruent to 11 mod 4. Whether it is true or false. Okay, so when it will hold, if 4 divides 19 minus 11. We have to check this whether this is correct or not. Okay, so 4 divided 19 minus 11 is 8. 19 minus 8. Can you express 8 as 4 times some integer? Can you express it as a sum of 4 times? Yes, you can express it as a 4 times some integer. So that means this is whole, this is true, this is true. Okay, so suppose we will take another example. So whether this is true, suppose this is what 17 is congruent to 7 mod, suppose this is 3. Is it true? Is it true? When it is true, we'll check whether this is happen or not. 17 minus 7. Okay, so that means what? This divide, so this is whole. If 17 minus 7 is the integral multiple of 3, it is a divisible by 3. It is a divisible. म्हणजे 17 minus 7 हा 3 च्या पाड्यात असला पाहिजे, नाही 3 च्या पाड्यात असला पाहिजे. इथं जो नंबर आहे त्याच्या पाड्यात असला पाहिजे. ओके, सो जर 5 घेतलं तर so this is not whole because what? 3 does not divide. This is what? 10, because you cannot write 10 as a multiple of 3. 10 is not a multiple of 3. So this is not true. This is not true. But if you take here 5, orally you can do this one. Just take the subtraction of this one. So 17 minus 7 is 10. So 10 is a multiple of 5. Yes, this is whole. This is whole. Orally you can do this one. Just do this subtraction and check whether it is a multiple of this or not. Whatever the number may be here. So suppose what here 26 is congruent to 7 mod, we will take here 8 suppose. Is 2 suppose. So what is this? Now here 2, that means this difference, the difference of 2 even number is even. So this is whole. Orally you can show this because this is 2 now. What about it? Suppose here 3 then. Okay. So what is this? This minus 8 is what? 18. 26 minus 8 is 18. 18 is a multiple of 3. Yes. So this is whole. Okay. So this may happen that 8 is equal to 26 mod 3. Okay. So what is this? 8 minus 26 is what? Minus 18. Is minus 18. So minus 18 means what? So this is what here? Minus 18 is the multiple of 3. Note that here A is congruent to B mod N is also same as B is congruent to A mod N. So this is the congruent modulo N is an equivalence relation. Note that. This is an equivalence relation. Okay. So that means every element is related to itself. So A is congruent to A mod N. This is always true. Because what? N divided A minus A means what? N divided 0. Yes, 0 you can write as the integral multiple of N. So this is true. That means every number is congruent to itself. Okay. So if A is congruent to B mod N, then B is congruent to A mod N. That means this is a symmetric. A is related to B means this B is related to A. Okay. Even though A is congruent to B modulo N and C is congruent to B is congruent to C modulo N, then A is congruent to C modulo N. C modulo N. So what is this? N divide A minus B. A is congruent to B modulo N means N divide. So then N divide what? This is B minus C. Okay. So you can take the addition of this one. N divide A minus C. That means what? A is congruent to C modulo N. C modulo N. Okay. So this is the property. I hope that you understand the definition of the congruence modulo. So now we'll see some properties. Okay. So if A is congruent to B 0 mod N, this implies that N divide A. This is obviously true. N divide A minus 0. So N divide this one. Okay. Next, we'll see the properties of the module. So one thing, just I have told you that already, A is congruent to A mod N. Every number is congruent to modulo itself. Okay. So second, this also I have discussed this. Modulo N implies that B is congruent to A modulo N. A modulo n. That means A is congruent to B modulo n, B is congruent to A modulo n. This is also allowed this. Okay. That means what you can do this difference or this difference. You can do A minus B or B minus A, whatever this. This should be the multiple of n. Okay. Now next is what? So third. So A is congruent to, this is also I discussed, modulo n. B is congruent to C modulo n. That means A is related to B, B is related to C, implies that A is related to C. Therefore, from this first three, it is an equivalence relation. That means congruent modulo n defines the equivalence relation. So congruent modulo n is the congruent relation is an equivalence relation. So note that this. Then, if A is congruent to B mod n modulo n, C is congruent to D modulo n. C, A is congruent to B modulo n, C is congruent to D modulo n, then this implies that A plus C is congruent to B plus D modulo n. So B plus D, that means this B plus D, C plus A plus C. Okay. So this is also true. Even though the product is also hold for. This is what AC is congruent to BD modulo n. Okay. So remember this. This is the property of the congruence modulo n. Okay. So the next one. If A is congruent to B modulo n, then A plus C is congruent to B plus C modulo n. AC is congruent to BC modulo n. So that means what? If A is congruent to B modulo n, you can add the same number on the both. You can add the same number on both. That is also modulo n. Okay. You can multiply by the same number to both A and B. You can multiply the same number to both A and B. Okay. This is also hold now here. Okay. Now, if A is congruent to B modulo n, then A raised to K is congruent to B raised to K modulo n. These points are very important for the, this is K is greater than or equal to K greater than 0. This is K is integer. This is true for any integer K. Okay. So K belongs to that. This is very important. K is what? Positive integer. K is for any positive integer. This is hold. A to the power K is congruent to B raised to K modulo n. Okay. So one thing is also, if P is a prime, and A square is congruent to B square modulo P, then P divide A minus B or P divide A plus B. Because what here? P divide A square minus B square. Okay. A square minus B is what? A plus B into A minus B. So P is prime. P divides AB implies P divides A or P divides B. So by that property, if A square is congruent to B square modulo P, then P divides A minus B or P divides this. Okay. So these are the properties of the. Now, so here, suppose AC is congruent to BC mod n. So see here, if A is congruent to B modulo n, then AC is congruent to BC modulo n. But you have given AC is congruent to BC. Here what you can multiply by C. If A is congruent to B modulo n, you can multiply by C. But you have AC is congruent to BC modulo n. Can you cancel C here? You cannot cancel C here. You cannot cancel C. If you have this, then this is whole. But what vice versa? Vice versa, it is not whole. But if you want to cancel this C, that means what? You want to cancel this. So this is what? This implies that A is congruent to B mod n if GCD of C and n is equal to 1. That means this GCD with n is 1, then you can cancel C. This is very important point for this one. This is very important point for this one. So you cannot cancel this. You cannot cancel this. Okay. So if GCD is n, then you can cancel C. Okay. This is 1. This is the second. and third one is what? So if AC is congruent to BC mod n, this implies that A is congruent to B mod n upon D, where D is GCD of C and N. See here, what the common, C is the common, okay? What you have to do then here? So you have to write the n upon D. So this is what? So D is what? GCD of C and N. GCD of C and N. That means the GCD n upon D is not a fractional number, because you are saying that GCD of C and N is one. That means what? N is a multiple of D. N is a multiple of D, so that DD get cancelled. Okay, so here DD get cancelled. You should remember this also. So now, this is very important now here. If A is congruent to B mod n, then A and B leave the same remainder when when they are divided by n. When they are divided by n. So means what? Suppose A is wrong. So A is congruent to B module n. म्हणजे काय? A ला जर n ने डिवाइड केलं, जो रिमाइंडर उरेल तोच रिमाइंडर B ने n ला डिवाइड केलं तर, म्हणजे A आणि B ला तुम्ही n ने डिवाइड केलं तर दोघांचे रिमाइंडर कसे असतात? सारखेच असतात, राइट? So this is the meaning of this one. If A and B leave the same remainder, this is if and only if A and B are leave the same remainder when divided by n, so then we want if and only. Just you can write, instead of then you can write if and only also. A is congruent to B module n. If and only A and B leave the same remainder. म्हणजे काय? जर A आणि B A is congruent to B module n असेल, A आणि B ला जर n ने डिवाइड केलं तर दोघांचे रिमाइंडर सारखेच असतात. आणि जर दोघांचे रिमाइंडर सारखे असतील तर A is congruent to B modulo n. ओके, हे ट्रू आहे. Find the remainder when 2 raised to 50 is divided by 7. 2 raised to 50 is divided by 7. We want to find the remainder of this. So this is what? 2 raised to 8, 2 raised to 3 is 8 now, right? 8. So 8 is congruent to 1 modulo 7, because 8 minus 1 is 7. So this is whole now. Okay, so that means what here? 2 cube is congruent to 1 modulo 7. 2 cube is congruent to 1 modulo 7. Now this is 50 now here. So now just divide by 50, 57. So this is 7, okay, 49. So this will 1. Okay, so what we will do? So you should divide 50 by 3, not 7, 50 by 3. Okay, so what is that? So this is what? 1, this is 3, 2, then 20, then this is what? 6. Okay, so that means what? This is 16 is congruent to 1 mod 7, because 1 raised to 16 also this is. That means what here? A is congruent to B mod n. Just we have seen that A raised to K is congruent to B raised to K mod n. So we can take the power of that one also. That also we have seen that. So this is what? So 48 is congruent to 1 mod 7. Means what? If 2 raised to 48 is divided by 7, then the remainder is 1, because this number is less than 7. Okay, so what do we get? Up to, we have to reach up to 50. We'll multiply by 2 now. This will what is 49 is congruent to 2 mod 7. That this means what? If you divide 2 raised to 49 by 7, the remainder is 2. Again we will multiply by 2. So this will be what? 2 raised to 50. So this is what? 2 raised to 2 means 4 modulo 7. That means what here? What is this number is less than 7? That means what? When 2 raised to 50 is divided by 7, then your remainder is 4. Okay, so in this way you can do like this. Okay, you can find the remainder. This is the example. Then next point, residue classes modulo n, residue classes modulo n. Okay, so now we have suppose this relation. So this relation A is related to B, A is related to B, imply that A is congruent to B modulo n. Okay, then A bar is nothing but the residue class of A. So this is nothing but the set of all B belongs to Z such that A is congruent to B modulo n. Okay, this is the A bar now. This is A bar now. So now suppose your Z, you have the, this is what Z. So for modulo n, suppose n belongs to n now. Suppose this is natural number. Then so there are 0 bar, 1 bar, 2 bar, dot dot dot, n minus 1 bar are the residue classes. The residue classes are 0 bar. Only this. So these are the n distinct residue classes modulo n. Okay, and this is denoted by Zn. This is, so that means what, Z5 will be what, 0 bar, 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar. Okay, so Z7, suppose Z7 is what, 0 bar, 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar, 5 bar, 6 bar. Not 7 bar is not included because 7 bar is same as 7. 7 bar is same as 7. That means what is the 15 bar? 15 bar modulo what? Suppose modulo this is 7, suppose modulo 7. So 15 bar modulo 7. So this is the greater than 15. So what you have to do? You have to divide by 7 to the 15 and just find the remainder. So remainder is 1. When 15 is divided by 7, then the remainder is 1. That means 15 bar modulo 7 is 1 bar. Okay. So this you should remember this. So there are exactly n residue classes modulo n. This is very important point, modulo n. So that means what? So suppose this is modulo 5. How many residue classes? Modulo 5. So there are only 5 residue classes modulo 5. So that are what? 4 bar. This is what? 0 bar. This is the set. 0 bar is the set. 1 bar is the set. These are the set. Okay. So 0 bar, 1 bar, 2 bar, they are the sets. They are not a number only. Okay. So these are the 4 residue classes modulo. These 5 residue classes modulo 5. Exactly 5 residue classes modulo 5 are there. Okay. So it is denoted by, this is denoted by Z5. Okay. So A is congruent to B modulo n. Then residue class of A bar is same as the residue class of B. Residue class of A and B are the same. Okay. If A is congruent to modulo n, then the residue class of A, that means A bar is same as B bar. Note that this. Also note that what? A bar plus B bar is same as A plus B bar. Okay. And A bar dot B bar is same as AB bar. Okay. Now if you find, suppose this is some modulo n, suppose modulo 5, suppose some modulo 5. Okay, and you want to take this sum 8 bar plus 7 bar. So 8 bar plus 7 bar is what? 15 bar. Okay, so 15 bar. So this is modulo 5. Okay, and this is 15 bar. So this is greater than 15. So that means what? You have to divide by 5 to the 15 and you have to find the remainder. When 15 is divided by 5, then the remainder is 0. So this will be the 0 bar. Okay. Now same thing here, what? 8 bar plus 1 bar, suppose. This is what? 9 bar. But 9 bar, we have to do this for modulo 5 now. So this is what? Addition modulo 5. This is called 8 bar addition modulo 5. 9 bar is same as what? 9 bar modulo 5. That means this is 4 bar. When 9 is divided by 5, then your remainder is 4. So you should remember this. Okay. Similarly, what if you want to do this 5 bar into 7 bar, something like this. Okay. So this is what this is product modulo 5. Product modulo 5. Okay. So now 5 bar is there. 5 bar is there. That means what? If you divide by 5, your remainder is 0, and any number is 0, then this will be 0. No need to do any calculations. No need to do any calculation. If you don't see, this is what 127 bar suppose. So 1335 bar into 333 bar suppose. Right? And this modulo 5 is there. This modulo 5. If you want to, so you know that if last digit is 0 or 5, then that number is divisible by 5. So now this number, this last digit is 5. So that means what here 135 bar is same as a 0 bar. So this will be what 0 bar. This will be what 0 bar. Okay. No need to do any product now here. Okay. With the help of your knowledge, you can do this. Okay. For product, because what AB bar, A bar not B bar is same as AB bar. Okay. So this you should remember. Okay. So that means what here A plus 0 bar is equal to A bar. So A bar dot 1 bar is A bar now. So that means what here 0 bar is the additive identity and 1 bar is the multiplicative identity. So that also you should remember this. So A bar plus B bar is equal to 0 bar implies that B bar is same as minus A bar. B bar is same as minus A bar. That means what here additive inverse. So minus A bar is the additive inverse of this one. That means what here A bar plus A bar is 0 bar, means A bar is same as minus A bar. Means A bar is same as minus A bar. So not A bar is same as minus A bar. So A bar is same as A bar B bar. So then B bar is what? Minus A bar. Okay, the same thing now here. Same thing here. Okay. Now one thing is what? Minus A bar is same as n minus A bar. That means what? Suppose this is what modulo 7 suppose. Modulo 7. Okay. So modulo 7, then your minus 3 bar is same as what? Modulo 7 minus 3 bar is what? Just 7 minus 3 bar. So this is same as 4 bar. So that means what? Minus 3 bar is same as 4 bar. Okay. So for modulo 8, your minus 3 bar. What is modulo 8? 3 bar is same as what? 8 minus 3 bar. So this is what? 5 bar. That means just add 8 in the minus 3. Add 8 in the minus 3. That will your 5 bar. Okay. So I hope that you understand this one now. Okay. Is also same as what? So if A bar cross B bar is same as 1 bar, modulo n, suppose A bar cross B bar modulo n is 1. So this is if and only if GCD of an is equal to 1. GCD of an is equal to 1. So that means what? A bar has the multiplicative inverse. A bar has multiplicative inverse modulo n if and only if GCD of an is equal to 1. That means what? If n is a relatively prime with if n is A and n are the relatively prime, then multiplicative inverse is exist for modulo n. So this is very important thing here. Now the Euler's pi function is there. So Euler's pi function, phi of 1 is 1. Okay. So Euler's pi function is what? Phi n. So definition of phi n. Phi n is what? Number of integers less than n and relatively prime and relatively prime to n, relatively prime to n. Okay, suppose you want to find the value of, suppose you want to find the value of 520. Okay, so 536 suppose, and 512. For example, we'll do this one. Okay, so what is this 520? 520 means number of integers less than n, right? म्हणजे number of integers less than 20, such that they are the relatively prime. म्हणजे 1 ला relative 20 ला relatively prime number आपल्याला फाइंड आउट करायचे. ओके, सो 1 ला relatively prime कोण कोण होतील? 1. ओके, 1 is relatively prime to this 1. 2 होईल का? नाही. सो 3 होईल. 4 नाही होणार, 5 नाही होणार, 6 कॉमन मल्टिपल आहे त्यांच्यात. ओके, 7 होईल. रिलेटिव्हली नंबर ऑफ इंटिजर लेस दॅन n, तो प्राइमच असलं पाहिजे असं काही बंधन नाही. तर नंबर इवन आहे त्यामुळे ऑड नंबर येणार आहेत सगळे. ओके, सगळे ऑड नंबर येणार. 8 इवन आहे कारण हा नंबर इवन आहे त्यामुळे नाही चालणार. 8 नाही चालणार. 9 3 to 9 चालेल आपल्याला. 9 म्हणजे ज्यांचा जीसीडी 20 बरोबर 1 आहे, ज्यांचे नंबर लेस दॅन 20 आहे, जे नंबर लेस दॅन 20 आहे आणि त्यांचा 20 बरोबर जीसीडी 1 आहे, असे नंबर आपल्याला घ्यायचे. ओके, सो 11 चालणार आहे आपल्याला. 10 नाही चालणार कारण 10 इवन आहे, 2 कॉमन आहे त्यांच्यात. ओके, 12 नाही चालणार. 13 चालेल, 13 ऑड नंबर आहे. 13 14 इवन नंबर आहे, नाही चालणार. 15, आता 15 नाही चालणार कारण 15 आणि 20 मध्ये 5 कॉमन आहे तेव्हा 15 चालणार नाही. 16 चालणार नाही. 17 चालेल. 18 नाही चालणार कारण 18 इवन आहे, 2 कॉमन आहे त्यामध्ये. 19 चालेल. मग हे मोजायचे आपण किती? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. सो दॅट मीन्स व्हॉट? 520 इज इक्वल टू 8. ओके, आता 36 बरोबर बघूया. ओके, 36 बरोबर 1 चालेल. 2 इवन आहे, नाही चालणार. 3 हा 3 36 ते कॉमन आहे, 3 चालणार नाही इथे. 4 चालेल का? 4 नाही चालणार, इवन चालणारच नाही कोणता. 5 चालेल. 6 नाही चालणार. 7 चालेल. 8 नाही चालणार. 9 नाही चालणार कारण 9 9 चौक 36. ओके, 9 3 कॉमन आहे दोघांमध्ये, 9च कॉमन आहे ऍक्च्युअली. सो 10 नाही चालणार. 11 चालेल. 12 नाही चालायचा कारण इवन आहे. 13 चालेल. 14 नाही चालणार. 15 सो 5 into 3 is a 15. So 3 is common to 15 and 36. So 15 चालणार नाही. 15 17 चालेल. ओके, 18 नाही चालणार. 19 चालेल. 21 नाही चालणार कारण 21 7 3 21 आणि इथं 3 कॉमन होणार आहे तर 21 चालणार नाही. 23 चालेल. 24 नाही चालणार. 25 चालेल. 26 नाही चालणार. 27 9 कॉमन आहे आणि इथं पण 9 चौक 36 9 कॉमन आहे, 27 चालणार नाही. 29 चालेल. ओके, 30 चालणार नाही. 31 चालेल कारण 31 रिलेटिव्ह हा डायरेक्ट प्राइम नंबर आहे. 32 चालणार नाही. 33 सुद्धा चालणार नाही कारण 3 कॉमन आहे. 34 35 35 7 5 35. ओके, सो 35 चालेल. ओके, 35 चालेल. ओके, सो these are the numbers which are less than 36 and related. यांचा पुन्हा बरोबर या नंबरचा पुन्हा कोणत्याही नंबरचा 36 बरोबर जीसीडी घ्या, तो जीसीडी 1 येणार आहे. काउंट करूया नंबर आपण. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So this is what? So 536 is same as 12. Is same as 12. So 512 काढूया आता आपण. 512. ओके, सो 1 चालणार आहे. 2 चालणार नाही. 3 चालणार नाही. 4 चालणार नाही. 5 चालेल. 6 चालणार नाही. 7 चालेल. 8 चालणार नाही. 9 चालणार नाही. 10 नाही चालणार. 11 चालेल. ओके, सो 512 किती झाले? 512 is 4. I hope that you in this way you can find the function. Okay, आता मॉड्युलो काय 3 असेल, मॉड्युलो 5 असेल, गुणाकार करायचा असेल 7 गुणिले मॉड्युलो 5 सपोज 7 गुणिले 8. ओके, 7 गुणिले 8. सो 8 साठी किती झाले? 56. ओके, 8 साठी 56. पण 56 द्यायचे नाही बरोबर. हे किती होणार? दिस इज व्हॉट 7 बार ऍक्च्युअली. सो 56 बार होतील हे, राईट. पण त्याला 5 ने भागायचं. 5 ने भागितलं तर 1 बार होईल. इथं सुद्धा तुम्ही केलं तरी चालेल. दिस इज व्हॉट मॉड्युलो 5, बट 7 बार इज सेम एज व्हॉट 2 बार मॉड्युलो 5. 8 बार म्हणजे 3 बार, राईट. सो दिस इज व्हॉट देन 6 बार, राईट. 6 बार म्हणजे 1 बार. 6 बार म्हणजे 1 बार, कारण 6 ला जर 5 ने डिवाइड केलं तर 1 बार आहे. ओके. सेम थिंग एज ऍडिशन ऑल्सो. 7 बार मॉड्युलो सपोज 8 बार. पण ते नंबर स्वतः 5 पेक्षा मोठे असतील तर तुम्ही जागेवर सिम्प्लिफाय करू शकता. 2 बार, दिस इज 3 बार. ओके. 2 bar plus 3 bar. Okay. So then this is what 5 bar. But 5 bar is same as 5. 5 किंवा 5 पेक्षा पुढे असतील तर लगेच डिवाइड करायचं आणि रिमाइंडर द्यायचा. ओके. इन दिस वे यू कॅन डू द ऍडिशन अँड मल्टिप्लिकेशन. Next, very important point is now point. If n is any integer, then n square is congruent to 0 mod 4 or n square is congruent to 1 mod 4. 1 mod 4. ओके. n कोणता इंटीजर असो, इवन असो नाहीतर ऑड असो, n कोणता इवन असो नाहीतर ऑड असो, तर काय होईल n स्क्वेअर इज कॉन्ग्रुएंट टू 0 mod 4 किंवा n स्क्वेअर इज कॉन्ग्रुएंट टू 1 mod 4 होईलच. यापैकी एक काहीतरी घडेल. if a is odd, integer, then a square is congruent to 1 mod 8. Remember this. You should remember this. So this implies what 8 divide a square minus 1. 8 divide a square minus 1. So 8 divided a square minus 1 means what? So if a is any integer, a belongs to z, then the remainder when a square minus 1 is divided by 8 is 0. This is the meaning. If a is odd integer, this is odd integer. Okay. If a is odd integer, then the remainder when a square minus 1 is divided by 8 is 0. Because what? If a is odd number, then 8 divide a square minus 1. 8 divide a square minus 1. Okay. So remember this. So that means a square minus 1 is divisible by 8. So this is also thing that if a is odd, then a square minus 1 is divisible by 8. Meaning of all are same now here. So next you want product of two consecutive integer is divisible by 2. Means what? n into n plus 1 or n minus 1 into n. These are two consecutive integers. This is what? They are the even. Means multiple of 2. Product of two consecutive integer is the multiple of 2. So that also you should remember. Now suppose we have this sum. 1 plus 2 plus 2 square plus 2 cube plus dot. Suppose 2 raised to 100 is there. What is this? Up to 2 raised to 100. Now see here this number. So this is even up to this is what? Because they are the multiple of 2. All the rest terms are multiple of 2. So up to this sum is even. Up to this is even. So if you add 1 in the even term, so that means what? This is odd number. This is odd. That means 1 plus 2 square plus something whatever the power of 2 is there, right? Any number of power will be there. If you go and adding this one, that number is odd now. Always odd. Okay. So this also you should remember that. Also, if Euler's function, if GCD of AM, if GCD, this is important thing, if GCD of AM is 1, then A raised to phi m is congruent to 1 mod n. 1 mod n. A raised to phi m is, this is what Euler's theorem. This is called Euler's theorem. It is called Euler's theorem. Okay. Okay, so we'll check whether this is true or not. Minus 13 mod 5. Okay, so we'll check whether this is true or false. See, this is minus 13. Okay, add this in 13. Okay, 7 minus of minus 13. You have to take the difference of this one. 7 minus of minus 13 is 20, and is it multiple of 5? Yes, it is multiple of 5. Okay, so this is true. This is true. Okay, suppose 55 is congruent to 7 mod 3. Okay, is it true? So 7 minus 55 minus 7. 55 minus 7 is 48. So 48. Okay, is it divisible by 8? So 8 plus 4 is 12. So sum is divisible by 3. That means 48 is divisible by 3. So this is true. This is true. Okay. Suppose okay. So in this way you can check whether it is true or false. Okay. So if A is congruent to B mod n upon D, where D is the GCD of Cn, whatever the number C is given. So then this implies that AC is congruent to BC mod n. You can multiply by that C, and it will be n now. It will be n there. Okay. So this is what then A is congruent to B mod n. Then this implies that GCD of A and n, n बरोबर GCD दोघांचाही सारखाच असेल. Okay, if A is congruent to B mod n, then GCD of AN is same as GCD of BN. So this is very important thing here. So if A is congruent to B mod n, and m divides n. So that means what? M is the divisor of n. M is divisor. So then this implies that you can replace n by m. You can replace n by m also, because what? M is divisor of n. M is the divisor of n. So then you can write this. So also if A is B modulo n and D greater than 0, this implies that A upon D, B upon D is modulo n upon D. Modulo n upon D. This is whole. So where what? A, B, n are divisible by D. That means what? If D divides A, D divides B, D divides n. If D divides A, D divides B, D divides n, and A is congruent to modulo n, then A upon D is same as B upon D is same as modulo n upon D. This we can write. Okay. Okay, so what? You have to do this sum. Minus 6 bar in J10. You have to do this sum in J10. What is that? You have to do this sum. This is what? 8 bar minus 6 bar. So this is 2 bar. No problem for this one. Okay. So this we hold 10. Okay. So now you have to do this 2 bar, 7 bar minus 5 bar inverse. You have to do this in Z7. You have to find inverse. Okay. What is this then? So this is what, 14 bar minus 5 bar. Inverse you want here. Okay, 14 bar minus 5 bar. 14 bar minus 5 bar is 9 bar. 9 bar inverse. So 9 bar is same as 2 bar now. 9 bar is same as 2 bar, because in Z7 your 9 bar is 2 bar. 2 bar inverse. Okay. So what you want here? I want to find this number here a bar such that 2 bar dot a bar is 1 bar. 2 bar dot a bar is 1 bar. So what is that number? So this is what 2 bar plus 2 bar into 4 bar is 8 bar. Is 8 bar, and 8 bar is same as 1 bar. That means what? This is what? 4 bar. This is same as 4 bar. Okay. So for trial and error you have to find such a number. Okay. So you want 1 bar, that means you want 8 bar. Okay. Very easy now here, because what here? You can try for this is what? 2 bar into 1 bar is 2 bar. No, here it will not 1 bar then. 2 bar into 2 bar is 4 bar. It is not 1 bar. 2 bar into 3 bar is a 6 bar. So this is okay. So this is not 1 bar then. 2 bar into 4 bar is 8 bar. 8 bar. So 8 bar. So that's good. In this way you can try from. You can go. This is 2 bar. You can start for 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar, up to what? 6 bar. Because what? Z7 is same as what? 0 bar, 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar, 5 bar, 6 bar. That means if you want to find the inverse of a bar, then what? Start from 0. Okay, 0 will not be there then for inverse. So multiply by 1 bar, multiply by 2 bar, multiply by 3 bar. Whether it is 1 or not, you have to check this. Multiply by 4 bar, then multiply by 5 bar, multiply by 6 bar. Okay. So that should be the, so what? It will be, it is 1 bar, so like this. So it is greater than, the product may be greater than 7. If product is greater than 7, then multiply by, divide by 7, so just take the remainder of this one. See what? So when it is divided by 7, then the remainder is 1 bar. So that means 2 bar into 4 bar is 8 bar, is equal to 8 bar, is same as 1 bar. And this is what? The inverse of 2 bar is same as 4 bar. Okay. So you should remember this also. Now last is what? The Fermat's theorem you have seen. Fermat's theorem. Fermat's theorem is what? If P do not divide A, if P is the prime, so we'll write neatly. If P is prime, if P is a prime and P does not divide A, then A raised to P minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod P. 1 mod P. Okay. So proof will not be there. Proof will not be there. Okay. So we can also write this as A raised to P is congruent to A mod P. Okay. The same thing now. This is also the Fermat's theorem. This is also Fermat's theorem. So for Fermat's theorem, just remember the theorem only. So I hope that you understand all those things. Okay. So remember all the points we have discussed here. Okay. So that you can easily solve the online exam, which will be conducted by Savitribai Phule University Pune, or just internal exam also. Okay. So we are conducting online internal exam. So you can face easily for the internal online exam, MCQ exam. Okay. So now we'll stop here. Thank you.